Hello, fellow lightworkers. Welcome to my new podcast series, 5D Messages from Mount Shasta. I am Dr. Christina Samycia, spiritual psychologist, intuitive guide, and the author of The Journey of Discovering Inner Peace. Mark Twain was noted for saying, "The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." I believe that second day for me occurred at the end of March in 2020. Although I wish I could remember the exact date, I do remember the profound feeling of purpose and exhilaration I felt when it happened. It occurred on one of my daily walks when I believe I put the metaphysical pieces together and understood the spiritual significance as to what was transpiring on our planet. I had an epiphany that 2020 was going to be pivotal within the shift in consciousness. I felt the surge of energy run through my body, and I was overcome with a sense of strength and purpose. This changed the trajectory of my life, and I know that I was here to assist other light workers through this ascension process. If you are listening to this podcast, it is highly likely that you are a light worker, someone who is here to shift into a higher state of consciousness and help the collective with this process. We are here to create a new earth, and it is time for us to stand in our power. We all have the choice to move out of the confines of 3D matrix, which is bound by ego, fear, greed, hate, and suffering, into the light of love of 5D consciousness. However, in order to live at this higher vibrational state, we need to work through our emotional baggage, process our trauma, change our belief systems, and align with our spiritual selves. It is so important for each of us to truly understand that we are not victims in the world, but the creators of our reality. It is time for each of us to take responsibility over what we are contributing to the collective and make some radical changes. Although it has been emotionally and physically challenging because we are working through lifetimes of trauma and being confronted by our own shadows, we are not only experiencing profound opportunities for personal and spiritual growth, but creating a new earth. I will be posting podcasts from Mount Shasta, the root chakra of the planet, to provide guidance and inspiration during this challenging yet amazing time. If you are interested in learning more about what we have been experiencing since 2020, please visit my website, Christina, with a CH, PSYD.com. That's Christina, CHRISTINA, PSYD.com. And read the articles I've been publishing in Elephant Journal. Please also sign up on my website to receive my monthly newsletter. You can also find a link to my book there, The Journey of Discovering Inner Peace, which has many valuable tools that will be helpful in navigating this ascension process. Please also follow me on YouTube. We are now in year 2023, numerological year number 7, which is the spiritual year, and signifies the year of change, evolution, analysis, and wisdom. For most of November and December, the collective energy has felt pretty calm. It seems as though the universe was giving us an opportunity to rest and integrate all that we experienced last year. We are currently in a retrograde period, which is a good time to look back on what we experienced in 2022. Although there was a significant upheaval in the 3D matrix in late February, it feels as though last year's focus was more internal. Many of us worked hard on redefining our life's purpose and doing some deep emotional housekeeping. Looking back on 2022, I think the highlights of last year were the 1111 Gateway and the Pisces Portal, when Neptune aligned with Jupiter and Pisces in mid-April. The 1111 Gateway seemed to signify a definitive ending of a chapter, as many of us light workers had recently completed a lot of internal work. This was the celebration of how far we had come. In 2020, many of us started feeling very lost and confused. as to what our roles would be moving forward in this ascension process, and seem to have been questioning every aspect of our life. I think we know that we have been called to create a blueprint for this new world based on our fifth dimensional reality. Although we can conceptualize what that is, we do not have the clear picture of the practical steps of achieving this just yet. But I believe that we will get some clarity this year. The second highlight of 2020 occurred in April, when we went through the Pisces portal, when Neptune aligned with Jupiter in Pisces. This portal was a once-in-a-lifetime alignment, which I believe served to assist us in moving further out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Right after this portal, we had our first eclipse in Taurus and Scorpio. The Scorpio influence signified that it would be quite transformational, as we release so much that is not needed in the next phase of our spiritual journey. This energy had brought up many subconscious dynamics that we needed to address and process in order for us to continue moving forward in the ascension path. It seems as though the energy did not let up until the end of the year due to the 6-planet retrograde storm. These alignments were calling us to further clear out ego attachments and to trust in where we were heading on our spiritual path. Although we are currently going through a rough Mercury and Mars retrograde right now, as well as a Cancer full moon, we will likely have a bit of an energetic reprieve from mid-month, when this clears, until the springtime. We will then be experiencing 2 major shifts in March. Saturn, the planet of restrictions, will move out of Aquarius, where it landed in 2020, into Pisces. I do not think I need to remind you what transpired in March of 2020. Pluto, the planet of transformation, will be changing signs from Capricorn, which we have been in since 2008, into Aquarius, where it will stay for the next 20 years. If you recall, we had a financial crisis in 2008 when this transit occurred. These 2 shifts have the potential to be quite significant, which may likely prompt another huge contraction in the 3D matrix. Whatever this year brings, we are definitely more prepared. This upcoming shakeup will likely be a shock to those of us who are not fully aware of where we're headed. We will likely have a lot of work ahead of us, helping those who will need guidance in navigating whatever comes up. I also suspect that with this shift, we will have greater clarity as to the specifics of our new roles in this ascension process and start to take more concrete action moving forward. Ever since 2020, many of us have been anticipating the collapse of the 3D matrix and oftentimes found ourselves traveling down fear-based rabbit holes, which is definitely not in our best interest. Because our thoughts and feelings hold tremendous power, I think this is something important to pay very close attention to, since we may be experiencing more upheaval in the world. If we are focusing on our attention to the 3D matrix and the antics of a small population of people, we are essentially giving it power. If we are living in fear, we are perpetuating fear. If we are feeling angry, hopeless, victimized, we are perpetuating that as well. If we continue focusing on our thoughts on these old paradigms, we are in essence keeping them alive. This is not in alignment with 5D reality that we are hoping to create. If we all collectively focused our thoughts and intentions on the world based on love and light, we can definitely manifest that. We have the opportunity to create a new earth if we all think together, because I truly believe that there are more of us on the side of light and love. Although it is important to check in with what's going on in the 3D matrix, it's important to do so with detachment and without fear. We need to trust that whatever calamity transpires, we will be okay. As we move along in the spiritual year number 7, let's make sure that we focus our attention on the world we wish to create, one of love and light. However, I think it is also important for us to continue to rest and integrate all the hard work we did last year to prepare us for the year ahead of us. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast. Stay tuned for the next podcast when I will continue channeling messages from Mount Shasta. Sending all of you love and light.